What's up, guys? My name's Dean, or as most of you know me, Twisty, and it's time to get into our round 10 preview. That's right, we're already 10 rounds into the AFL season. My god, that means like next week we'll be almost halfway through. Oh dear, it goes so quick, doesn't it? But let's get straight into it. Friday night, which is today, the Swans take on North Melbourne. Marsh comes in to make his debut for Teddy Richards, who goes out with concussion, couple of concussions. I think it's good to have him have a week off. And Wells comes in for North, as well as Wright in for Mullet and Ray, who have both been omitted. Now, it's a really interesting game. It's up at the SCG. I think Sydney will win because of that fact. North Melbourne are 9-0. You know that you've won 9 in a row. You've got a lot of confidence. Can you then take that forward to win on the road? It's going to be a tough win if they get it done, but I do not see them beating the Sydney Swans at home. They are very much a force to be reckoned with. So it's going to be very difficult to see North Melbourne winning this one, even though they haven't lost a game all year. So we'll see that happening, and I think we'll see that happening anyway. And the Swans will get over the line in this one. Buddy will have his work cut out. There's a tricky North Melbourne defence, and I think Sydney's defence could be stretched in this one. I think North Melbourne's tall forward line is very, very hard to match up on against for a number of teams, but given Teddy Richards has just come out of the side, will make it even tougher. Grundy's going to have a really big game, or going to need to have a really big game, for the Swans to minimise that North Melbourne scoreline. Now moving on to the second game, what do we got? Melbourne and Port Adelaide. This one's up in Darwin for our Indigenous round. Neville Jetta comes in, as well as Dom Tyson for the Dees. Clayton Oliver goes out and Viv Mitchie omitted. Dougal Howard comes in for Tommy Jonas, who copped a 6-week suspension for his elbow on gaff. I was thinking maybe 4-5 weeks, but 6 weeks. That's more than Stephen May, I think. I think it's because it was given as intentional rather than reckless or careless. Because they're the two things, like careless or intentional. Now, there's no reckless charge anymore, which I think it probably was, but they gave it as intentional. I think this is going to be a real tough game to call. I think Port Adelaide are very up and down this season. Like, they might have a good week and then they'll have a couple of bad weeks. And Melbourne, they've been really consistent. If they're moving up in the world, if they win this game, they're very much on the right track to putting themselves in a good spot come later in the year. But definitely each week presents a new challenge. There's going to be another one with Port Adelaide. Thinking Melbourne will actually win this one though, even though it's up in Darwin. I think it's their home game for whatever reason. But normally when teams sell out home games, they lose them anyway. Melbourne will win. Next game, Brisbane and Hawthorn. Cutler comes in for Evans for the Lions. Spanger comes in for Kieran Brand for the Hawks. The Hawks are going to win this one. Brisbane have been playing some appalling footy in the last couple of weeks, and I mean, they don't look like a team that functions well together. Whether or not that's personnel changes or that they're just missing, I don't know, drive within them or something. I don't know. But I think the Hawks are going to win this one fairly comfortably over the Lions. Could be a big win, but Hawthorn haven't been travelling too well lately. So I don't think Brisbane will win, but I definitely think that Hawthorn will slaughter them by a lot. Yeah. Next game, St Kilda and Freo. Generally, St Kilda win these ones because Freo rests a lot of players. Because Ross Lyon clearly feels bad for leaving St Kilda. But this time, they've actually brought in a number of players at Ockers. Murdoch Sinclair come in for the Saints. Billings goes out with an ankle, and Webster is ill, so he's not playing this week. And then you have a look at the Dockers. Collins, Sutcliffe, Barlow, Hill, DeBoer come in. Some decent names to come back in there. Alex Pearce out with a leg. Clancy Pearce out with concussion. Hughes and Mundy both out with calves, and Zach Clark has been dropped from the side. So, yeah, different sort of scenario this time around. St Kilda looks to be in a better place than the Dockers, rather than, Fremantle sitting at the top of the ladder, resting all their players and letting the Saints roll over them. But St Kilda, I think they'll win this one. I think Fremantle will be zip and 10. Or what is it, Norton 10 now? It's just quite bizarre to go from 9 and zip to now nothing and 10. My brain does not function, but they're not going to win that one, Freo. I think St Kilda are, they're on the right track. They've been up and down, but they'll win this one. Next game is the Crows taking on the Greater Western Sydney Giants. No changes for the Adelaide Crows. This is the Adelaide Oval, by the way. For the Giants, Moore goes out with a hamstring and Buntine with concussion. I think it was like Moore's first game back in a while. Yeah, hammy. And Jack Steele comes back into the side with Tomlinson. He's been a very good find, Jack Steele, over this year. I think he debuted late-ish last year, but he's come on very nicely, Jack Steele. Good player in that defense there. Now, I think the Giants will win this game. They're on a hot streak right now. They just look unbelievably good around the ground. I know they only beat the Dogs by maybe 20, 25 points last week. Oh, I think it was something similar to that. They didn't beat the Dogs by too much last week. It was 25 points. Yep, I was right. And they still look so damaging. They just look like super hard side to contain when their midfield's up and running. They just move the ball so quickly, and Jeremy Cameron is in Coleman contention right now, even though he's only played 4 or 5 games. I think he's number 1 for average goals per game this season. So this is just ridiculous. If they can't stop him, the Crows, they're going to have a tough day out. And I think that the way the Crows game style is that they play a very high sort of defensive line and then run the ball over the back. I think it's going to be very hard with this Giant side. They run very hard both ways. So it may be difficult for the Crows to score in this one, and I think the Giants are going to get over the line. Now, next game is on Saturday night. This is the Dreamtime at the G game between Essendon and the Tigers. For the Bombers, Dempsey, Edwards and Crowley come in. For Connor McKenna, Polkinghorne and Redmond all being omitted from the side. And for the Tigers, Daniel Rioli comes in to make his Dreamtime debut. Corey Ellis back in the side, as well as Dave Asprey comes in for Chaplin, goes out with a hip. And Connor Menadue and Jaden Short have both been omitted from that side. It's going to be... I'm not actually going to this game. I'll be out and about on Saturday night, so I'll have to try and watch it when I get the chance. But the way Essendon's been going this year, they've been pretty competitive in a number of matches, but I don't see them winning this. I hope the Tigers will win by a big, big margin very easily. Come on, go Tigers. Just slaughter them. I hope Jack kicks 10. Is Grimer still in that back line? Something for Essendon? Who knows? But I hope the Tigers get a big win over the line at the Dreamtime clash. Now we move on to... Is this Saturday night or is this Sunday? Carlton and Geelong. This is Sunday. Early game. Jacks, Casbolt and Cruiser come in. Casbolt and Cruiser? What? I thought they were really injured. Casbolt was meant to be out for 4 to 8 weeks. Cruiser was meant to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. And they've come back in the space of 11 days. So, this is just unbelievable inclusions, I guess, for the Blues. If they are actually fit and ready to go, what are they on? What are they taking? This is some miracles that are going down. And for the Cats, Lonergan, Kolodjasny, Murdoch and Smets come in for Menzel. Obviously, these are squads anyway, so they may not even play. But, gee whiz, what a way to make a bluff. If you're going to make a bluff, gee whiz, Geelong, you are, in for it if those guys are playing. But the Cats will get over the line in this one easy. I think Carlton, they've been in some somewhat good form. They've played, lackluster of opposition sides. So, generally, you want to get the wins against those types of teams. But the Blues will not win this one. It will be the team with the Navy... Wait, no. Is Geelong Navy Blue as well? Because Carlton are the Navy Blues. But Geelong's in some weird kind of blue then. I don't know. God damn it, Geelong. Anyway, moving on. The next game, Collingwood and the Western Bulldogs. Just a really intriguing clash. You would have said the Dogs would have won this 2-3 weeks ago. The way Collingwood have just come back a little bit. Gives them some nice form. Witts, Marsh and Sinclair into the squad of 25. And the Dogs got a number of changes. Boyd, Adams, Redpath, Suckling, Minson and Dunkley into that squad. Collins, Stevens and Ling Jong have all been taken out of the side for whatever reason. But yeah, I think Jong was actually out for suspension, not concussion, but I put the concussion there. But for sure, this is an interesting game as well. Collingwood on the rise. The Bulldogs, can their injuries, they get Suckling back. Will Minson will probably play. Matty Boyd will probably play. So they're key players that, come into that side if they can play well, and Jack Redpath as well. They can do the job. they'll win over the Pies. But Collingwood, they had a big win over Geelong last week. If they can keep their momentum going, they're in a little bit of touch. I'm going with the Dogs on this one in a very close game. Final game of the round is not going to be a close one at all. West Coast taking on the Gold Coast Suns. The battle of the coasters, as I like to say. Cole, hopefully he plays this week. Late withdrawal last week. Flew his family over to Adelaide because he was named in the side. Then Josh Kennedy comes in last minute, doesn't play, but he's named in the team, so hopefully he makes his debut. Alice, Jeddah, McGinnity, and Barras also into the side. Yo out with a quad, and Gaff with concussion from that big Jonas hit last week. And for the Gold Coast Suns, gee whiz, so many changes. May, Nichols, Ablett, Hall, Cameron, Willis, Joyce, and Schoenfield in for McPherson, Sam Day, Curry, Grant, and Callum Archie. Just injuries are plenty at the Gold Coast Suns. They get a number of key players back this week, but gee whiz, it's going to be a very tough season for them. They will not win in this one. They will get hammered, and hammered badly. The West Coast, they just kill every team at home. And this will be no different. I don't think the Gold Coast stand a chance. And that's really sad because I thought they were going to be a top 8 side. If they won the first 4 games of the year, you would have said, right, lock them in. That loss to Brisbane just derailed their season. They're now 6 losses in a row, I think. And boy. Yep, that's about it for today's video. Please leave a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And we'll see how everything goes. I'll see you guys on Monday with the round wrap-up of Indigenous Round. I should have been wearing my Dreamtime jersey, don't you think? Because I do have a Dreamtime jersey. I just probably wasn't wearing it this week. Disappointing. Disappointed!